How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Bonn Place up in this piece in the form of their BONNTÖBERFEST. Yeah. This is a Märzen-style lager. They say BONNTÖBERFEST is our interpretation of an Oktoberfest lager beer. Full-flavored and brewed using only water, malts, hops, yeast. Enjoy fresh from can or in your favorite glass. Prost. Yeah. This be, who knows how old, comes courtesy of my boy Keith. I think it's about a month or so old. It's November of 2020. And I think this came out about a month or so ago. So we'll see what's what. Decided to break out a little bit of proper glassware for you guys. Give it a good pour in there. You're going to be able to get a horrible nose on this one because I like to pour sometimes all the way to the tippy top. Label-wise, it's awesome. It's cartoonily drawn with a little kind of opus and a little cat dude in there somewhere. See him? Hanging out. And your classic kind of Oktoberfest stylings as far as the glass goes, or the can goes, or the wrapping goes. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, looks like a Märzen. I mean, it's got that rich kind of dark kind of Märzen kind of almost Bach-y kind of color to it. Nice fluffy creamy index finger of just south of cat colored head. Looks the part. Soft, beautiful carbonation. Let's get a nose. I mean, that's spot on. I mean, it's just that rich caramel malt with a nice soft kind of grain characteristic to it. A little bit of bittering hops on the other end of things. Clean as a whistle. Done and done. It's to a T, Merriam-Webster Dictionary, exactly what you'd expect from a Märzen in the most beautiful way possible. There's nothing generic about it. It's vibrant where it needs to be. It's reserved where it needs to be. It smells like something I want to drink a ton of. What is the ABV on this? Please give it to me. Oh, you sons of bitches didn't put an ABV on here. You jerks. Sam, you're a big fat jerk. So hopefully it's 5 and change. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. That bittering's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. Not crazy big, but in a fun way. The way the malt comes off in this, like I talked about this kind of like caramel going into this kind of like what did I say, did I say roasted, kind of dark malt characteristic. It comes off infinitely nutty to me, almost like hazelnutty vibe, the way the malt comes off. Very, very cool. It's such a stark difference between the nose, which for me came off infinitely classic, super BJCP style kind of nose, to where the taste is very much an Americanized version of a Märzen, but in a very thoughtful and tasteful way. It's not like adjuncts thrown at it, or peeps or money thrown in it and being all bastardized and all hell. It's taking those loving characteristics, that malt, that little bit more robust caramelly style malt, dialing it up a notch in a way that it comes off, like I said, that hazelnutty kind of characteristic, which really turns me on. On the flip side of things, you're getting that bitterness, again, cranking up a little bit, making it level, neck and neck with the way the maltiness comes off, so that way everything's still in balance. But you're still kind of wrapping it in this beautiful lagered version of this beer, cold fermented version of this beer that ends up making it drinkable, ends up making it crisp and clean, while at the same time being robust and showy. It's a very, very fun beer. Yeah, I mean, nose classic, taste not, don't care. I think it's fantastic. It really is a decadent beer. And I rarely say that when it comes to Märzens. It's something that's decadent. Almost a dessert style beer in a classic way that just works for me. A lot of times when these beers get so outside of the classic form that is kind of written on a label, what you expect to come out of there, I'm not going to say I'm hating on them, but it's like, why don't you just call it something else? Or why don't you do something else? Or some kind of other weird excuse or soapbox I'll get on for no other reason, so you guys can hear me yammer and say a whole bunch of shit. Anyway, this is the opposite of that. I'm really intrigued about the way this beer kind of came off in just the most fun way possible. This is it's a fun and showy and robust Märzen that still tastes like Märzen. I don't think you guys appreciate how crazy and weird that is. Or you do, which is pretty fantastic. Yeah, I love this beer. This is one of the funner beers I've had in quite some time. And I talk about that from time to time. A lot of times I talk about fun beers in almost a pseudo-negative sense. And by that, I mean, I'll kind of use that as a pathway in a conversation to talk about the beer in a better light than I typically would, because I'll be like, this beer doesn't really do it for me, and it's kind of off and whatever, but it's very, very fun and intriguing, and that's why I like it. So almost exclusively the fun, interesting beer comes with a little bit of negative connotation. Not happening here. This is an viscerally knee-jerk, fantastical tasting beer, while at the same time being a very cool, unique interpretation of the classic style without getting too out in left field. That is a very cool thing. It's a very, very cool thing. It's a reason why I love Bonn, and I love what they do down there. Sure, not all their beers are hits for me. I mean, their Black is Beautiful was, kind of not for me, and there's been misses along the road, but when they hit in a way that really kind of turns me on. And this beer, guess what? Nipples are hard. That's the truth. I push it out. You see it? It's hard. It's hard. Anyway, but yeah, I love this beer. Big, robust, kind of showy take on a very classic style that doesn't get too ostentatious in a very fun way. Is this one of the better Märzens that I've had as of late? Yes. Is it BJCP classically fantastic? No. It definitely gets outside of that comfort zone, but it is. Let's put it this way, if I'm going to drink this beer and kind of classify it, I'd still put it in that classification, just a kind of jacked up on steroids version of it in a very fun way. Value and availability, I'm hoping this is sub $15. Actually, I don't care. It's Bonn. They deserve to stay open. If this is $18, have at it, because, yeah, that brewery does not need to go anywhere. I need to be bellying up in that bar when this whole COVID shit's over, so pay for whatever this beer costs and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like Märzens, but you're not pretentious or so style driven that you would drink this and go, well, it's tasty, but it's not a Märzen. Don't be that fucking guy, and just drink it and enjoy it because it's delicious. So if you like beer, you like this. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, I've talked to Sam from Bonn Place on the podcast. Go check us out. We had a great time. We're drinking whiskey at 10 a.m. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Oktoberfest or BONNTÖBERFest or what are these? BONNTÖBERFest. Yeah. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.